Members of the Nigerian delegation have been commending the newly improved partnership between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates, which has led to the just signed Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement between both countries. President Bola Tinubu, who led the Nigerian delegation to the 2026 Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week Summit, presented the country's position and progress on climate adaptation programs and policies to sought partnership with countries and investors from across the world. Nigeria is also seeking to mobilize capital for projects ranging from sustainable agriculture and ecosystems to resilient cities, water infrastructure, and clean energy. Members of the delegation believe this is possible through genuine partnerships.
We believe sustainable shared prosperity is possible, but it requires cooperation, it requires global partnership so that we can retool energy systems, we can encourage and generate more funds to support climate financing, which can help us with anything, anywhere from sustainable agriculture to sustainable ecosystem to sustainable cities and water and all other elements that are relevant to sustainability. Mr. President clearly laid out a vision of a Nigeria that is aligned with others in the global space to appreciate that we need sustainability in our systems.
Environment is the biggest issue that we are confronting generally, globally, and without the leadership that is given, would have been far behind. But in Africa now, for example, we are leading in terms of trying to mobilize green finance for doing green industrialization in Nigeria. We have done quite a lot in that area. We have done the issue of clean cooking, which he has mentioned, that we are trying to two things that is there. That is, we are trying to avoid deforestation in Nigeria. At the same time, we're trying to improve the health of our people in Nigeria by trying to run away from the rural or the traditional cooking that we've been involved in.
In other news, Nigeria and the European Union have agreed to expand their strategic partnership with a major ministerial meeting scheduled for Abuja in March 2026 this year. A statement by the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimbie Mbiefa, indicates that the agreement was reached during a high-level meeting between Nigeria's Permanent Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Dunoma Umar Ahmed, and the EU Ambassador, Mr. Gautier Mignot. Both sides also agreed to focus future cooperations in the non-oil sectors such as agriculture, digital economy, and green innovation to diversify from oil dependency. The EU pledged continued cooperation on counterterrorism, Gulf of Guinea maritime security, and addressing root causes of instability like youth unemployment, while Nigeria called for greater EU support on climate adaptation and green tech. Both sides expressed confidence in the partnership's growth, marking 2026 as a pivotal year for enhanced cooperation. The United States Embassy in Abuja has officially reopened its newly redesigned American Center, calling it a celebration of shared values and partnership. A statement from the embassy in Abuja noted that the American Center has modernized space features, enhanced technology, and updated facilities to expand educational, cultural, and professional opportunities for Nigeria. It said that U.S. Ambassador Richard Mills Jr. stated the center has been equipped with the tools Nigerian youths need to succeed in a rapidly changing global economy. The center features new murals celebrating themes like innovation and perseverance. In a statement, U.S. Country Public Diplomacy Counselor Lee Mims also added that the center joins 29 other American spaces across Nigeria as a hub for learning and exchange, fostering meaningful connections and collaboration. The Polish ambassador to Nigeria, Mikhail Sigan, has described Nigeria as a stabilizing force in the West African region, citing the critical role of the Nigerian armed forces, particularly the Nigerian Air Force, in counter-insurgency and regional security efforts. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ehimen Ejodame, indicates that the ambassador made this remark during an official courtesy visit to the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Aneke, at the Nigerian Air Force headquarters in Abuja. He commended the professionalism and resilience of the Nigerian Armed Forces and expressed Poland's interest in exploring practical avenues of bilateral defense cooperation to further support Nigeria's security priorities. Earlier, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Aneke, underscored the importance of strategic international partnerships in addressing contemporary and asymmetric security challenges. He noted that the Nigerian Air Force remains committed to leveraging cooperation with friendly nations to enhance operational effectiveness, capacity development, and information exchange in support of national security objectives. In a renewed move to sustain security of the nation's maritime space, protect critical oil assets, and increase daily crude oil production to 2.7 million barrels by 2027, the Nigerian Navy has flagged off Operation Delta Sentinel. Commander Task Group 26.1, Rear Admiral Suleiman Ibrahim flagged off the operation at Nigerian Navy ship Pathfinder, Port Harcourt. Kinsley Amajiri reports.
Operation Delta Sentinel is a build-up from the immediate past Operation Delta Sanity 2. Nigerian Navy is reinvigorating the exercise by bringing in some additional platforms like maritime domain awareness, unmanned area surveillance, and maritime boats to cover the backwaters and deep sea. The target is to boost Nigeria's daily oil production and create an enabling environment for international businesses to thrive.
So now we are going to increase our presence within the backwaters and into the offshore, that's deep sea, to cover all of the operations from exploration to production and equally on board some of the terminals.
Flag Officer Commanding Eastern Naval Command Rear Admiral Chiedozie Okehie is happy that substantial achievements were recorded in Operation Delta Sanity 2 in 2025 with the deactivation of over 334 illegal refining sites.
732 ovens, 411 reservoirs, 121 storage tanks, and 7 vessels were arrested or deactivated, alongside several other items and equipment used in the construction and operation of illegal refining facilities.
This operation reflects a shift towards deployment of technologically enhanced surveillance, joint interagency cooperation, and expanded naval capabilities in confronting complex maritime criminalities. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has reminded members of the Nigerian Armed Forces to remain loyal to the country's constitution and democracy. He was represented at the 2026 Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day Gala and Award Night by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris. The president assured that his administration will sustain and improve efforts to deal with security situation in Nigeria. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
It is a night where honor was given to those who deserve it, having distinguished themselves in service, including those who laid their lives defending the territorial integrity of the Nigerian state.
As we celebrate excellence tonight, let us renew our collective resolve to continue building a more professional, united, and mission-ready armed forces that Nigerians can trust and be proud of. Let this evening remind us that service, honor, and duty remain the pillars of our national security and the foundation of our future.
As the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Tinubu, in a message, reassured that his administration will stand by all those paying the supreme price.
From the start,
this administration made clear promises to Nigerians. We promise security will be our first duty, and the Renewed Hope agenda will be a plan of action, not just a slogan. Today, we can say with confidence that real and measurable progress is being made across all sectors in this country. Terrorists and criminal networks are under sustained pressure, while effective coordination among our services, regional and global partners is yielding the desired results. Our intelligence and operational reach are stronger, and progressively we are restoring safety and confidence across our nation. Let me state this clearly to you, my gallant troops. Your welfare is inseparable from our national security. We are committed to matching your sacrifice with real support. We are improving your equipment, strengthening your training, and upgrading your living conditions.
The Gala and Award Night is part of activities of the 2026 Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Week to encourage and foster national unity. From Banquet Hall of the Presidential Villa in Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
A bit of sports here as Nigeria Super Eagles prepare to face Morocco in the AFCON semi-finals. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has assured the team that Nigeria stands firmly with them. In a statement, the government spokesman acknowledged that the team's journey so far has been inspiring, showing discipline, courage and belief, reminding Nigerians why the Super Eagles remain one of Africa's most respected teams. The minister said the Super Eagles have been there before and know what it takes to win at this level and want them to follow the path of past AFCON triumphs to victories against tough opponents and carry Nigeria's flag with pride. He urged them to play with the confidence of champions, the unity of brothers, and hunger for staying focused, trusting one another and giving their best from the first whistle to the last. Now, with just a few hours to go to the highly anticipated semi-final clash between Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Atlas Lions of Morocco at the African Cup of Nations, excitement is building. Thank you for staying tuned. Diplomats from across the region and the world are meeting in Cairo for the fifth consultative meeting on Sudan, aiming to coordinate peace initiatives and push for an end to the country's ongoing conflict. And Uganda, we hear, amends constitution ahead of the country's election.
The talks come as Sudan faces its worst humanitarian crisis in decades, with over half the population in urgent need of aid. Egypt, hosting the talks, is positioning itself as a central coordinator, citing national security concerns and the need to stabilize Sudan for the broader region. Participants are expected to focus on aligning ceasefire proposals, improving humanitarian access, and ensuring that peace initiatives are consistent and enforceable. Humanitarian and economic recovery are also key issues that will be discussed at the meeting. The Cairo consultative meeting, however, represents an important attempt to unify international efforts, putting Sudan's war and humanitarian crisis at the forefront of regional and global diplomacy. Meanwhile, before 1986, Uganda has experienced repeated constitutional disruptions. The 1962 independent constitution established a parliamentary system, but it was suspended in 1966 under Prime Minister Milton Obote, paving the way for a strong executive presidency under the 1967 Republican Constitution. Years of military rule and political instability followed, during which constitutional governance was largely replaced by rule by decree. President Yoweri Museveni assumed power in 1986, ushering in a period of political stability that led to promulgation of the 1995 Constitution. In 2005, allowing the sitting president to contest elections indefinitely. The amendment continued to shape Uganda's political future.
The trial of the 5 alleged terrorists who purportedly killed some worshippers at the St. Francis Church in Ondo State has continued before the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, with 2 additional prosecution witnesses testifying against the defendants. The defendants are facing 6 counts charge bordering on alleged terrorism. Dele Atumbi reports.
The 5 defendants in the alleged terrorism trial are Idris Omeiza, Al-Kazim Idris, Jamiu Abdulmalik, Abdul Alim Idris, and Momo Abubakar. They are facing 6 counts charge on the alleged involvement in what has been described as murder in the cathedral, which was perpetrated on June 5, 2022 in Owo. At the resumed hearing of the matter, the 2 prosecution witnesses, who are couple, gave details of what transpired on the day in question. In his evidence in chief, the husband said after the incident, he was forced to wade through corpses of young people in the church hall while trying to locate his son who was missing. The wife gave details of how a dynamite thrown into the church hall shattered her legs and destroyed her left eye. Led in evidence by the prosecution counsel, Ayodeji Adedipe SAN, the 5th prosecution witness said he was in the church on that day with his mother, his wife, and 3 children. The couple told the court how the alleged terrorists used explosives in addition to their guns. On where he was when the assailant entered the church, the witness said he was in the church and hiding under the pew. He said he could see the attackers where he was, but could not see their faces clearly. On how many the attackers were, the witness said he saw 3 inside the church and 1 outside who was shooting through the window. The 4th prosecution witness told the court that she spent about 5 months in the hospital as a result of the multiple injuries she sustained during the terror attack. Thereafter, the witness was moved to the middle of the courtroom where she showed the judicial officer a damaged eye and legs. The witness said she had been on a wheelchair since the incident. Justice Emeka Nwete has adjourned further hearing in the case till February 10 and 11, 2026. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
The federal government, through the Bank of Agriculture, is allocating funds to support smallholder farmers in addressing climate change-related issues. This development comes as development partners have released $150 million for smart agricultural practices in Nigeria. The funds will be housed in the Bank of Agriculture under the supervision of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security.
We're committed to solving the problems of climate change, and in our own particular case in agriculture. We are looking to find a way to catalyze using this 150 million naira to catalyze in at least $5 billion worth of investment, which, if I want to put into naira terms, is about 7.5.
Nigeria, we hear, has officially launched its carbon market framework, marking a major step in the country's climate action agenda and positioning it as a key player in the global green economy. The announcement was made during the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, a leading international platform for climate innovation and investment. The National Council on Climate Change, led by the Director General Omotenioye Majekudumi, said that the framework establishes a clear regulatory and institutional structure for carbon trading in Nigeria. This structure enables both local and international investors to fund and develop climate-smart projects, earning carbon credits while promoting sustainable development. For the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal, Nigeria's active participation at Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week reflects the federal government's commitment to deepening international partnerships, particularly with the UAE, while prioritizing technology transfer, innovation, and local capacity building. Minister of Works David Umahi has ordered an aggressive nationwide road intervention program, declaring that no section of the country's federal roads will be left unattended. The minister disclosed this during an inspection tour of the ongoing rehabilitation work on the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Expressway projects, stressing that 2026 would be an action year. Umahi announced that every 10-kilometer stretch of federal road construction must henceforth display signboards at the front and back, clearly identifying the Federal Ministry of Works and bearing the photograph of President Tinubu. According to the minister, the directive is aimed at ensuring Nigerians are fully aware of the scale of federal road interventions across the country. He said Nigerians must know and appreciate the work being carried out by President Tinubu, whether on federal roads, township roads, or within states.
We will do everything possible to ensure that the entire job is handed over. That is the lot 2 by December. Contractor, we will push you, and we will push you very badly, so that this road, this celebrated road, this good thought of Mr. President, this Asuwaju that can do all things through God and through mercy, will be a success story by December 2026.
And that concludes the news. Thank you for your time. I'm Ruth Aguele. My sign language interpreter is Anna Olainka.